One desperate kiss saved her life. Linda and Ji-hoon survived hell and built paradise, a marriage, a son, a future. But 16 years ago, on a quiet hospital night, their worst fear came true. The monster they'd defeated? The abuser they'd destroyed? He came back for revenge. They hunted him down. They fought. They bled. Their 1-year-old baby, gone. They saved him once. They thought it was over. They thought they were finally free. They were wrong. Now he's 16. Trained by his father. Deadly. But David returned, richer, more dangerous, obsessed with one thing, claiming the son that was never his. One family. One war. One question, can love survive revenge? Hello lovies. I want to say a big thank you my darlings, for the sweet way you engaged with Linda and Ji-hoon's story in part 1. I know you're ready for part 2 now, because this will blow us all away. Type Ginger in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. United States? Lagos? London? I want to know. I love you all so much. Let's go. 1 year after that desperate kiss, Linda poured coffee in their penthouse. Her advocacy degree hung on the wall. The Linda Ben Foundation had opened, 12 beds, women finding safety. Come to APA. Baby Téjun wobbled on unsteady legs. Fell. Laughed. Ji-hoon scooped him up, pressing kisses everywhere. This man who'd killed for her now melted for their son. We made something beautiful, Linda whispered. Ji-hoon's jaw tightened. And I'll kill anyone who tries to touch him. His phone buzzed. His body went rigid. What is it? Nothing. Just work. It buzzed again. Go. We'll be fine. He kissed her, deep, possessive. Lock the doors. He left, looking back 3 times. Linda carried Téjun to the window, soul glittering below, beautiful and dangerous. She didn't know it then, but she'd remember this moment forever. The perfect moment before everything shattered. 3 days later, Téjun's scream ripped through the night. Linda jolted awake, her heart slamming against her ribs. She stumbled out of bed, her legs tangling in sheets. Ji-hoon was already moving, his body a blur of muscle and instinct. They reached the nursery together. Téjun stood in his crib, face flushed crimson, tears streaming. His little chest heaved with sobs. Baby, I'm here. Linda scooped him up. His skin was fire against hers. Oh God, Ji-hoon, he's burning up. Ji-hoon's hand pressed to Téjun's forehead. His face went white. Hospital. Now. They didn't bother changing. Linda threw on Ji-hoon's jacket over her nightgown. Ji-hoon grabbed his keys. They were in the car in 90 seconds, Ji-hoon driving like a demon through Seoul's empty streets. Téjun wouldn't stop crying. His little body shook with it. Linda held him against her chest, rocking, whispering, praying. You're okay, baby. You're okay. Yama's got you. But her hands shook. Her throat closed. Memories flooded back, David's fists, hospital visits she'd lied about, the time he'd broken her ribs and she'd told the doctor she'd fallen. No. This was different. Téjun wasn't hurt. He was just sick. Kids got sick. Kids got sick all the time. Ji-hoon's hand found hers across the console. He didn't look at her, couldn't take his eyes off the road, but his grip was iron. He'll be fine. He's strong. He's ours. I know. But her voice cracked. The hospital emergency room was fluorescent hell. Too bright. Too loud. Nurses moved with practiced efficiency, taking Téjun from Linda's arms despite her protests. Ma'am, we need to examine him. I'm not leaving him. Linda. Ji-hoon's voice cut through her panic. Let them work. She wanted to scream. To fight. But Téjun's cries were getting weaker, and that was worse than the screaming. She let go. A doctor appeared, young, tired, kind eyes. Mrs. Park? Yes. What's wrong with my son? His fever is 104. We're running tests, but it looks like viral pneumonia. Common in babies, especially this time of year. Linda's legs nearly gave out. Ji-hoon caught her. Is he going to be okay? Her voice didn't sound like hers. The doctor nodded. We'll admit him for observation. 48 hours, maybe less. We'll get the fever down, monitor his breathing. He'll be fine. You promise? The doctor's smile was gentle. I promise. He's going to be fine. Linda collapsed into Ji-hoon's chest, sobbing. His arms wrapped around her, tight and protective. See? He's okay. He's going to be okay. But even as he said it, his phone buzzed in his pocket. He ignored it. It buzzed again. And again. Finally, he pulled it out, his face darkening as he read the screen. His jaw clenched so hard Linda heard his teeth grind. What? Fire. At the warehouse in Yongsan. They're saying arson. Linda's stomach dropped. You have to go. No. I'm staying here. Ji-hoon. She pulled back, wiping her face. You're the boss. They need you. I'll stay with Téjun. We'll be fine. There's security everywhere here. His eyes searched hers. I don't want to leave you. I know. But you have to. She cupped his face. Go. Handle it. Come back when you can. We'll be right here. He hesitated, his internal war visible on his face. Go, she whispered. Please. Before something else happens. Finally, he nodded. He kissed her, desperate, clinging. Then he kissed his knuckles and pressed them to Taejun's hospital room door. I'll be back before morning. I promise. I know. He left. Linda watched him go, her chest tight with something she couldn't name. It felt like goodbye. She shook it off. She was being paranoid. Ji-hoon had rubbed off on her. She settled into the chair beside Taejun's crib, watching his chest rise and fall. The monitors beeped steadily. His fever was already coming down. He was fine. They were fine. Linda's eyes drifted closed around midnight. She woke with a start when a nurse entered, middle-aged, kind smile, efficient movements. Just checking vitals, the nurse said softly. Linda nodded, too exhausted to do more. The nurse checked Taejun's temperature, wrote something on her chart. She glanced at Linda's they'd hooked her up earlier when she'd nearly fainted from stress. You should sleep more, Mrs. Park. He's stable. I'll wake you if anything changes. Thank you. The nurse smiled and left. Linda's eyes closed again. She didn't see the nurse return 10 minutes later. Didn't see her check the hallway before entering. Didn't see her hands, steady, professional, inject something clear into Linda's drip. Didn't feel the cold spread through her veins. Her eyes fluttered. The room tilted. Darkness pulled her under like water. The last thing she saw was the ceiling tiles blurring above her. Then nothing. The nurse, who wasn't a nurse, moved quickly. She lifted sleeping Téjun from his crib, wrapping him in a hospital blanket. His fever had broken hours ago. He didn't stir. She checked the hallway. Empty. 3:47 in the morning. Shift change in 13 minutes. She walked calmly toward the service exit. No cameras there, she'd checked. Her fake ID badge got her through the security door. The parking garage was dark and silent. A black van waited, engine running. She handed Téjun through the open door. He's healthy. Fever's gone. Good. The voice from inside the van was male, accented, familiar. David will be pleased. The woman's face remained blank. She'd been paid enough not to ask questions. My money? Already transferred. She nodded and walked away, her footsteps echoing. Inside the van, rough hands cradled Téjun. The baby stirred slightly, making a small sound. "Shoo, little one." The voice was almost tender. "You're going home. Back to your real father." The van pulled out of the garage, disappearing into Seoul's pre-dawn streets. In the hospital room, Linda slept on, her chest rising and falling peacefully. She had no idea her world had just ended. Sunlight hit Linda's face like a slap. She jerked awake, her neck screaming from the awkward angle. Her head pounded. Her mouth tasted like metal. What time? She blinked at the window. Sunlight. Full morning sunlight. She'd slept for hours. Téjun? Her voice was thick, slurred. She pushed herself up, her fore tugging. "Baby?" She turned to the crib. Empty. Her heart stopped. "Téjun?" Louder now. She stood, stumbling. The room spun. "Téjun?" She ripped the four from her arm, ignoring the sting. She checked behind the crib, under it, in the bathroom. Empty. 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 "Nurse." She ran to the door, yanking it open. "Nurse. Where's my baby?" A nurse appeared, not the same one from last night. Younger. Confused. "Mrs. Park, you need to calm." "Where's my son?" Linda grabbed the woman's shoulders, shaking her. "Where is he? Where did you take him?" We didn't, let me check." More nurses appeared. A doctor. Security. "Mrs. Park, please. Find my baby." Her scream ripped through the corridor. Other patients' doors opened. Heads poked out. The world tilted again. Linda's legs gave out. Someone caught her. "Check the security footage. Now." The doctor was shouting orders. "Find that baby." Linda couldn't breathe. Her chest was collapsing. Her vision went black at the edges. No. 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 Her hands shook so badly she couldn't hold her phone. Someone, a nurse, dialed for her. It rang once. "Linda?" Ji-hoon's voice was rough with exhaustion. "He's gone." The words came out broken. "Téjun is, Ji-hoon, he's gone. I woke up and someone took him, I don't know how, I fell asleep and." The line went silent. Then, "I'm coming. Don't move. Don't talk to anyone. I'm coming right now." The call ended. Linda collapsed onto the floor, her body folding in on itself. The scream that came out of her wasn't human. It was animal. Raw. The sound of a mother whose child had been ripped away. Nurses tried to help her up. She fought them. She screamed until her throat bled. Security footage showed everything. And nothing. The woman in the nurse's uniform entering Linda's room. Checking vitals. Leaving. Returning 10 minutes later. Injecting something into the fore. Waiting. Lifting Téjun from his crib. Walking calmly toward the service exit. Disappearing. The badge she'd used was fake. Her face didn't match any employee database. She was a ghost. Professional. Paid. Gone. Ji-hoon arrived in 23 minutes. Linda heard him before she saw him, his voice echoing through the corridor like thunder. "Where is she? Where is my wife?" Then he was there, and Linda threw herself into his arms. I'm sorry, I fell asleep, I didn't mean to, I just closed my eyes for a second." Shoo. His arms crushed her against his chest. But his body was vibrating with barely contained rage. "This isn't your fault." "It is, I should have stayed awake, I should have." "They drugged you." His voice was ice. "This was planned. Professional." Linda pulled back, looking at his face. She'd never seen him like this. His eyes were dead. Empty. The kind of empty that came before mass violence. Ji-hoon. I'm going to kill him. Each word was a bullet. I'm going to find David, and I'm going to make him beg me to kill him. We don't know it was David. Ji-hoon's phone buzzed. He pulled it out, his hand steady despite everything. His face didn't change as he read the message. But Linda saw his pupils dilate. Saw the vein in his temple start pounding. What? What is it? He turned the phone toward her. A photo filled the screen, Téjun, sleeping peacefully, wrapped in a blanket. The message below it said, "You stole my life. I'm stealing yours. Come alone. Warehouse, Incheon Port. Sunrise. Come late, he dies. Bring police, he dies. D." Linda's knees buckled. Ji-hoon caught her, his arm iron around her waist. He came back. Her voice was barely a whisper. You said he couldn't come back. I was wrong. Ji-hoon's jaw was stone. Get dressed. We're ending this. Now. What if he hurts? He won't. Ji-hoon cupped her face, forcing her to look at him. David wants you. He wants me. He won't hurt Téjun. Not yet. He's leverage. How do you know? Because I'd do the same thing. The words should have scared her. Instead, they steadied her. This was who Ji-hoon was. Who she'd married. A monster who loved her. A killer who'd burn the world for their son. What do we do? His smile was terrifying. We kill him. Together. Linda's penthouse was chaos. Ji-hoon's men filled every room, checking weapons, reviewing intel, speaking in rapid Korean. Linda stood in their bedroom, staring at the bulletproof vest Ji-hoon had laid on the bed. She picked it up. It was heavier than she remembered. You don't have to come. Ji-hoon appeared in the doorway, already fully armed. Gun strapped to his chest, thighs, ankles. He looked like war incarnate. Yes, I do. Linda pulled the vest on, her fingers fumbling with the straps. Linda. That's my baby. Her voice cracked. You think I'm going to sit here while she couldn't finish. Tears burned her eyes. I have to be there. I have to see him. I have to know he's okay. Ji-hoon crossed to her, his hands taking over the vest straps. He tightened them with practiced efficiency. Then you stay behind me. Always. You don't make a move unless I say. You see a shot, you take it. But you don't be a hero. I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm trying to be a mother. His hands stilled. He looked at her, really looked, and something in his expression shifted. Okay. Okay? Okay. He pulled a gun from his belt, checked the magazine, handed it to her. You remember how to use this? Linda took it. The weight was familiar now. She'd spent months at the range Ji-hoon insisted she train at. She'd hated it at first. Now she was grateful. I remember. Good. He tucked a knife into her boot. Just in case. Ji-hoon, she grabbed his wrist. What if this is a trap? What if there are too many of them? Then we die together. He said it so simply. Like it was just a fact. That's not funny. I'm not joking. He pulled her close, his forehead against hers. I won't live without you. I won't live without him. So either we all walk out of there, or none of us do. Linda's breath hitched. You're insane. You married me. I know. She kissed him, hard, desperate. Let's go get our son. The drive to Incheon Port took 40 minutes. Dawn was breaking over Seoul, painting the sky in shades of blood orange. Linda sat in the back of the SUV, her gun heavy in her lap. Ji-hoon sat beside her, his hand covering hers. Neither of them spoke. Around them, a convoy of black vehicles moved through the empty streets like a funeral procession. 50 of Ji-hoon's men. Armed to the teeth. Ready to die for their boss. Ready to kill for his son. Linda's phone buzzed. Another message. Another photo of Téjun. Still sleeping. Still alive. The message, "Tick-tock, Linda. Sunrise is coming. Come alone, or he dies screaming." Ji-hoon read it over her shoulder. His grip on her hand tightened until her bones creaked. "We're almost there," he said. His voice was empty. Hollow. The voice he used before he killed. Linda had heard it only once before, the night he'd destroyed the men who'd tried to kidnap her. She squeezed his hand back. Together. Together. The warehouse loomed against the dawn sky like a tombstone. Rusted metal walls. Broken windows. The smell of salt water and decay. Ji-hoon's men surrounded the building in silence, disappearing into shadows. Snipers took position on nearby rooftops. Exits were blocked. David had walked into a trap. He just didn't know it yet. Ji-hoon and Linda approached the main entrance alone. The metal door was ajar, scraping against concrete as Ji-hoon pushed it open. Inside was darkness. Then lights flickered on, industrial, harsh, blinding. And there he was. David Okonkwo stood in the center of the warehouse, looking like he'd crawled out of hell. Thinner than Linda remembered. Harder. His eyes burned with the kind of madness that came from obsession. In his arms, wrapped in a blanket, was Téjun. Still sleeping. Still alive. Linda's legs almost gave out. A sound escaped her, half sob, half gasp. There she is. David's smile was grotesque. My wife. The woman who destroyed me. I'm not your wife, Linda said. Her voice shook, but she forced it steady. We've been divorced for over 2 years. Divorce means nothing. David's shout echoed off the metal walls. You made vows. Before God. You promised me children. You promised me a son. I promised you nothing. Linda took a step forward. Ji-hoon's hand shot out, stopping her. You took. You beat. You terrorized. I owed you nothing. And yet, David looked down at Téjun. Here he is. The son you should have given me. The son that should have been mine. He was never yours, Ji-hoon said. His voice was so cold the air temperature dropped. Put him down. David laughed. Or what? You'll shoot me? With your son in my arms? He shifted Téjun, his other hand pulling a gun. He pressed it to the baby's head. Linda screamed. Don't. Her hands flew up. Please, David, please, he's sick, he needs medicine, just give him back. He doesn't need medicine. His fever broke hours ago. David's smile widened. See? I took care of him. Better than you did. I kept him safe. You kidnapped him. Linda was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. You drugged me and stole my baby. Our baby. He's not yours. The scream ripped out of her. He was never yours. I made sure of that. I took pills for 2 years so I'd never have to carry your child. I'd rather die than give you a baby. David's face twisted. The gun in his hand shook. You lied to me? For 2 years? Yes. Linda was crying now, her face wet. I lied. I took birth control behind your back because the thought of being tied to you forever made me want to die. You bitch. David's gun swung toward her. Ji-hoon moved. He was fast, faster than David expected. He closed the distance in 3 steps, his hand grabbing David's wrist, forcing the gun away from Téjun. But David was ready. He twisted, using Téjun as a shield. The baby woke, his cry piercing the warehouse. Yama. Téjun's scream was terrified. His little hands reached for Linda. Baby, I'm here. Stay back. David's arm tightened around Téjun. The gun swung wildly between Ji-hoon and Linda. Stay back or I swear to God You'll what? Ji-hoon's voice was deaf. Kill him? Then you lose your leverage. We kill you, and you get nothing. I don't care. David's voice broke. I've lost everything. My business. My reputation. My life. All because of her. He pointed the gun at Linda. She humiliated me. Made me look weak. You made yourself weak, Linda said. Her hands were still raised, but her voice was steadying. You beat women because you couldn't control yourself. You blamed me for your failures. You're weak because you never learned what strength actually is. Shut up. Strength isn't hitting someone smaller than you. Linda took a step forward. Ji-hoon tried to stop her, but she shook him off. Strength isn't controlling someone through fear. Strength is loving someone even when they don't give you what you want. It's protecting someone weaker. It's choosing to be kind when you want to be cruel. I said shut up. You don't know how to love, David. Another step. You only know how to take. And that's why you lost. That's why you'll always lose. David's hand trembled. His finger tightened on the trigger. Time slowed. Linda saw it happening. Saw David's eyes go empty. Saw his decision made. She dove. Not away. Toward. The gun swung toward Ji-hoon. David's finger squeezed. Linda's body crashed into David's arm, throwing his aim high. The shot went wild, hitting the ceiling. Metal rained down. Ji-hoon lunged, grabbing Téjun. David's grip loosened for just a second, long enough. Ji-hoon ripped the baby from David's arms, spinning away, his body curving protectively around their son. Linda and David hit the ground together, struggling for the gun. Let go. Never. David's elbow smashed into Linda's face. Her vision exploded white. Blood filled her mouth. But she didn't let go. Her finger found the trigger. She squeezed. The shot was deafening. David's body jerked. He looked down at his shoulder, blood blooming red through his shirt. You shot me. His voice was disbelief. Linda scrambled backward, still holding the gun. Her hand shook so badly she could barely aim. But she did. Stay down, she gasped. Stay down or I'll. You'll what? David tried to push himself up. Kill me? You don't have the balls. The second shot hit his thigh. David screamed, collapsing. Linda stood over him, the gun trained on his head. Her face was blood-streaked. Her hands were steady now. I told you, she whispered. I told you I'd shoot you again if you ever touched my family. Behind her, Ji-hoon held Téjun, who was crying but alive. Unharmed. Safe. Ji-hoon's men flooded in through every entrance. It was over. David lay on the concrete, bleeding, broken. He looked up at Linda, and in his eyes was something like fear. You weren't supposed to, you're too weak, you can't. I'm not weak. Linda's voice was steel. I'm a mother. And you just learned the difference. Ji-hoon's enforcer appeared at her elbow. Boss? Ji-hoon didn't look away from Téjun. Get him out of here. Deport him tonight. Make sure he never comes back. And if he tries? Then make sure he doesn't survive the attempt. The enforcer nodded. He and 3 others hauled David to his feet, dragging him toward the exit. David fought, screaming. This isn't over. I'll come back. That baby is mine. You can't keep him from me. I'll prove he's mine. I'll. His voice faded as they dragged him outside. Linda dropped the gun. Her legs gave out. Ji-hoon caught her with one arm, still holding Téjun with the other. The 3 of them collapsed onto the filthy warehouse floor together. Taejun's cries turned to hiccups. His little hands fisted in Linda's shirt. Yama, he sobbed. Yama, scared. I know, baby. I know. Linda kissed his face over and over. But you're safe now. You're safe. Yama's here. Appa's here. Nobody's going to hurt you ever again. Ji-hoon's arms wrapped around both of them. His face was buried in Linda's hair. She felt wetness on her scalp. Realized he was crying. I thought I'd lost you both, he whispered. When he pointed that gun, I thought. But you didn't. Linda's hand found his face, cupping it. We're here. We're all here. Because of you. His eyes met hers, red-rimmed, devastated, proud. You saved him. We saved him. Together. They stayed like that for a long time. 3 bodies tangled together on a dirty warehouse floor, surrounded by Ji-hoon's men who pretended not to see their boss break down. Outside, David's screams faded into the distance. The sun finished rising over Incheon port. And for the first time in 16 months, Linda breathed without fear. The hospital cleared Téjun within hours. Physically, he was fine. No injuries. No trauma beyond fear. But Linda couldn't let him go. She held him in the penthouse for 2 days straight. Barely ate. Barely slept. Just held him and rocked and whispered promises into his soft hair. Ji-hoon brought her food she didn't touch. Water she barely drank. He didn't push. Just sat beside her, his presence steady and solid. On the 3rd day, she finally spoke. I killed someone. Ji-hoon's hand covered hers. You protected someone. That's what you said last time. Her voice was hollow. But it doesn't feel like protection. It feels like I'm just as bad as him. You're nothing like him. How do you know? She looked at him, her eyes red from crying. How do you know, Ji-hoon? I shot him. Twice. And I wanted to keep shooting. I wanted him dead. Because you're a mother protecting her child. That's not evil. That's nature. It doesn't feel natural. It feels. She couldn't find the words. Wrong. Like I broke something inside myself I can't fix. Ji-hoon shifted, turning her face toward him. Linda. Look at me. She did. You didn't break. You survived. There's a difference. His thumb traced her cheekbone. David broke you once. Beat you down until you forgot who you were. But you rebuilt yourself. Stronger. Fiercer. And when he tried to take our son, you didn't freeze. You didn't hide. You fought. But. No. His voice was firm. No buts. You're not evil. You're not broken. You're a warrior. And I've never been more proud of anyone in my life. Linda's eyes filled again. Promise me. Promise you what? Promise me he can't come back. Promise me Téjun is safe. Promise me, her voice broke. Promise me this is over. Ji-hoon pulled her against his chest. It's over. He's being deported tonight. My men are escorting him onto a cargo ship. He's banned from Korea. From Asia. If he ever sets foot here again. He dies. Linda nodded against his chest. She should feel guilty for wanting that. For wanting David dead. But she didn't. She felt relieved. That night, Linda watched from the penthouse window as a cargo ship pulled out of Incheon port. Somewhere on that ship, David was in chains. Good. She hoped he rotted. She hoped he spent every day for the rest of his life remembering how she'd beaten him. Hoped he felt powerless the way he'd made her feel. Was that cruel? Maybe. But she didn't care. Behind her, Téjun slept peacefully in his crib. Ji-hoon stood in the doorway, watching both of them. It's done, he said quietly. Good. Linda. I'm fine. She turned, forcing a smile. Really? I'm fine. But she wasn't. Not yet. She wouldn't be fine for a long time. Far away, on a cargo ship cutting through dark waters, David sat in chains. His shoulder throbbed. His leg screamed with every movement. But worse than the pain was the rage. It consumed him. Ate at him. Turned his thoughts black. He'd lost. Again. That woman, that weak, pathetic woman, had beaten him. Shot him. Made him look like a fool in front of Park Ji-hoon's men. But this wasn't over. David's eyes burned in the darkness of the cargo hold. His hands clenched into fists despite the chains. "I'll come back," he whispered to the darkness. "That boy is mine. Mine. And I'll prove it." He'd find a way. He always did. Money could buy anything. Identities. Passage. Revenge. He'd rebuild. Get stronger. Richer. More dangerous. And when he came back, when he finally took what was his, Linda and Ji-hoon would wish they'd killed him when they had the chance. "I'll be back," he breathed. "That boy is mine. And I'll prove it." The ship's engine thrummed beneath him like a heartbeat. Like a promise. 15 years later. The punching bag exploded under Téjun's fist. Sand and leather rained down. He stepped back, breathing hard, his knuckles split and bleeding. Again. Ji-hoon's voice was calm. Patient. "You're dropping your guard on the third combination." "I'm not." "You are." Ji-hoon demonstrated, his movements fluid despite being 41. "See? Right here. Your left comes down too far. Leaves your ribs exposed." Téjun, 16 now, tall like his father, with his mother's warm brown skin and his father's sharp features, wiped sweat from his eyes. "Fine. Let me try again." "No. We're done for today." "Appa. I said we're done." Ji-hoon tossed him a towel. "Your mother wants you home for dinner." "We're already late." Téjun caught the towel, frustration flashing across his face. But he didn't argue. You didn't argue with Park Ji-hoon when he used that tone. They left the private training facility, underground, hidden beneath one of Ji-hoon's legitimate businesses. Téjun had been training here since he was 6. Learning to fight. To shoot. To survive in the world his father inhabited. A world of violence wrapped in expensive suits. But Téjun didn't mind. He was good at it. Fast. Precise. Deadly when he needed to be. His father's son. The elevator ride up was silent. Ji-hoon's phone buzzed constantly, business never stopped. But his attention never left Téjun. "You're distracted today," Ji-hoon observed. "I'm fine." "You're thinking about Minjun's party." Taejun's jaw clenched. "Maybe. Your mother said no." "Yama says no to everything." The words came out sharper than intended. "I'm 16, Appa. I can handle a birthday party." "It's not about what you can handle." "Then what's it about?" Ji-hoon was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was careful. Measured. "Your mother almost lost you once. That fear, it doesn't go away." Téjun knew the story. He'd heard it his whole life, the kidnapping he couldn't remember, the rescue that had scarred his parents forever. But he was tired of living in its shadow. "That was 15 years ago," he said. "I'm not a baby anymore." "No. You're not." Ji-hoon's hand landed on his shoulder. "Which is why I'm going to talk to her. You should be able to go to your friend's party." Taejun's head whipped around. "Really? With conditions. For bodyguards. Check-ins every 30 minutes. Any sign of trouble, you leave immediately." "Appa. Those are the terms. Take them or leave them." Téjun took them. He wasn't stupid. "Thank you." Ji-hoon's smile was faint. "Don't thank me. Your mother's going to kill me." Linda stood in their penthouse kitchen, chopping vegetables with precise, angry movements. She'd been on edge all day, That feeling she got sometimes, like storm clouds gathering just out of sight. She heard them before she saw them. Taejun's laugh. Ji-hoon's deeper chuckle in response. They walked in together, both sweaty from training, both grinning like conspirators. Her chest tightened. They looked so alike now. Same walk. Same way of holding themselves. Same dangerous grace. "You're late," she said, not looking up from the cutting board. "Sorry, Ayama." Taejun kissed her cheek. "We got caught up." She knew that tone. They wanted something. "Go shower. Both of you. You smell like a gym." Taejun disappeared toward his room. Ji-hoon lingered, leaning against the counter. "So," he said carefully. "About Minjun's party?" "No. Linda." "I said no, Ji-hoon." Her knife sliced through a carrot with more force than necessary. "Too many people. Too exposed. Too dangerous. He's 16. I don't care. He needs to live." Ji-hoon's hand covered hers, stopping the knife mid-slice. "We can't keep him locked up forever." Linda's eyes burned. "I'm not locking him up. I'm keeping him safe." "You're suffocating him." The words hit like a slap. Linda jerked her hand away. "That's not fair." "It's true." Ji-hoon's voice gentled. "Baby, I understand." "I do. But we have to let him grow up. We have to trust that we've prepared him." "What if," her voice cracked. "What if something happens? What if someone? Then he'll handle it. We trained him for this." Ji-hoon pulled her close despite her resistance. "We trained him for everything. He's not helpless. He's our son." Linda buried her face in his chest. "I can't lose him again. I can't. It would kill me." "You won't lose him. I promise." Ji-hoon tilted her face up. "For bodyguards. Check-ins every 30 minutes. First sign of trouble, they pull him out. Okay?" Linda wanted to say no. Wanted to lock their son in his room and never let him leave. But Ji-hoon was right. She was suffocating him. And if she wasn't careful, she'd push him away entirely. "Okay," she whispered. "But if anything happens?" "It won't. But if it does? Then I'll burn the city down to find him." Ji-hoon's eyes were steel. "Just like last time." Linda nodded. She believed him. She just hoped it wouldn't come to that. Minjun's house was a mansion in Gangnam, all glass and steel and excess. Music pounded from inside. Teenagers spilled onto the lawn, laughing and drinking and being young. Téjun stepped out of the car, straightening his jacket. Behind him, 4 of his father's men emerged, dressed like guests but moving like soldiers. "Remember," one of them said in Korean. "Check in every 30 minutes. Don't go anywhere alone. And if we say it's time to leave, we leave." "I know." Taejun rolled his eyes. "Can I go have fun now?" The guard's expression didn't change. "Have fun. We'll be watching." Taejun walked toward the house, his bodyguards fanning out behind him. He spotted Minjun immediately, his best friend since elementary school, tall and loud and currently very drunk. "Tajun." Minjun crashed into him with a hug. "You came. Your mom actually let you out?" "Barely." Taejun grinned. "Happy birthday, Hyung." "It's only happy 'cause you're here. Come on, there's people you need to meet." Minjun dragged him inside. The party was chaos, bodies everywhere, music so loud Taejun felt it in his chest. Girls smiled at him. Guys nodded in respect. Everyone knew who he was. Park Taejun, son of Park Ji-hoon. The prince of Seoul's underworld. It should have bothered him. The weight of that legacy. But it didn't. He was proud of who his father was. What his parents had survived. He just wished his mother would trust him to survive too. Téjun, this is Soo-jin, Min-jun was introducing him to a girl with kind eyes. She's in your literature class, remember? Téjun bowed slightly. Of course. Hi. Soo-jin blushed. Hi. They talked. Laughed. For an hour, Téjun forgot about bodyguards and check-ins and the weight he carried. He was just a 16-year-old kid at a party. It felt good. At 10:47 p.m., the lights cut out. The music died. Confused laughter filled the darkness. Then someone screamed. Taejun's body went tense. His training kicked in instantly. He grabbed Soo-jin's arm, pulling her behind him. What's happening? Her voice shook. I don't know. Stay close to me. Then he heard it. Shouting. In English and Yoruba. His blood turned to ice. Where's Park Taejun? Gunfire erupted. Kids started screaming, stampeding toward exits. Taejun's mind raced. His bodyguards, where were they? He heard more shots. Saw muzzle flashes in the darkness. 2 of his guards were down. He could see their bodies. The other 2 were fighting, outnumbered, outgunned. Téjun made a decision. Panic room, he hissed to Soo-jin and the kids huddled near him. Min-jun, where's your panic room? Upstairs, my dad's office. Go. Now. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone unless they say the code word. What code word? Soo-jin's eyes were huge with terror. Téjun thought fast. Unbreakable. Got it? Unbreakable. If they don't say it, don't open the door. What about you? Go. He shoved them toward the stairs. Watched them disappear into darkness. Then he turned back to the chaos. 6 masked men were tearing through the house. Armed. Professional. Looking for him specifically. One of his remaining bodyguards went down. Shot in the chest. Now it was just Téjun and 1 guard against 6 attackers. 15 years of training crystallized into instinct. Téjun moved. He grabbed a bottle from a nearby table, expensive whiskey, and threw it at the nearest attacker. It shattered against his mask. The man stumbled. Téjun closed the distance, his hands moving the way his father had taught him. Strike to the throat. Knee to the groin. Grab the gun. The weapon came free. Téjun didn't hesitate. He fired. The man went down. There. Another attacker swung toward him. Téjun ducked behind a couch. Bullets tore through expensive upholstery. He rolled, came up firing. 2 shots. 1 miss. 1 hit, shoulder wound, not fatal. His last bodyguard took out another attacker. Then took a bullet to the leg and went down. 4 left. All focused on Téjun now. He was cornered in a hallway. Outgunned. Surrounded. 1 attacker grabbed him from behind, yanking the gun from his hands. An arm locked around his throat, cutting off air. Got him. We got the boy. Taejun's vision started to black out. His training screamed at him, don't panic, think. He went limp. Dead weight. The arm around his throat loosened slightly. Téjun snapped his head back, felt his skull connect with the attacker's nose. Felt it crunch. The man held, his grip releasing. Téjun spun, grabbed the man's gun, used it to block the next attacker's swing. Metal clanged against metal. Then Téjun pulled the trigger. The shot was deafening at close range. The attacker's eyes went wide. He fell. Téjun kept moving. His body was on autopilot now. Everything his father had drilled into him, every combination, every counter, every kill shot, came flooding back. He wasn't a scared teenager anymore. He was his father's son. The remaining bodyguard took out another attacker. Téjun shot the one coming up behind him. 2 left. 1 charged. Téjun sidestepped, bringing his elbow down on the man's neck. Felt vertebrae crack. The man collapsed. The last attacker raised his hands. Wait. Taejun's gun stayed trained on him. Who sent you? I don't. Who sent you? Taejun's voice was his father's, cold, deadly, absolute. The man broke. Money. We got paid. Someone in Nigeria said you were his son, wanted you back. The world stopped. Nigeria. His son. No. Name, Téjun whispered. Give me a name. I don't know. I swear. We just got paid to grab you. Sirens wailed in the distance. The man tried to run. Taejun's bodyguard shot him. The mansion went silent except for groaning wounded and distant sirens. Téjun stood in the hallway, covered in blood that wasn't his, a gun in his hand, his chest heaving. He'd killed someone. Multiple someones. And he didn't feel guilty. He felt alive. Was that wrong? He didn't know. He didn't care. The panic room door flew open. Soo-jin and the others stumbled out, crying, terrified. Téjun. Soo-jin ran to him. Stopped when she saw the blood. Oh my God, are you? I'm fine. His voice sounded strange. Distant. Is everyone okay? Minjun nodded shakily. Because of you. You saved us. Taejun's phone buzzed. He answered without looking. Téjun? His mother's voice was panic. Baby, talk to me, one of your guards called, there was an attack. I'm okay, Yama. You're okay? Oh thank God, she was crying. We're coming. Right now. Don't move. Don't. Yama. He cut her off gently. I handled it. Silence on the other end. Then his father's voice. How many? 3. Maybe 4. One's still alive. Your men can question him. Injuries? Not mine. 2 of your guards are down. 1 dead, 1 wounded. Another pause. When Ji-hoon spoke again, his voice held something Téjun had never heard before. Pride. Raw and undisguised. Good. That's good. We're 5 minutes out. The call ended. Téjun stood in the destroyed mansion, surrounded by bodies and broken glass and terrified teenagers. And he realized something. His mother had been right to be afraid. The monsters never stopped coming. They just changed faces. Linda burst through the mansion's front door like a hurricane. Téjun. He was sitting on a couch, wrapped in a blanket despite not being cold. Paramedics were checking him over. Police were everywhere. Linda didn't care. She shoved past all of them, throwing her arms around her son. Oh God, oh baby, I thought, when they called I thought. I'm okay, Yama. His arms came around her. I promise. I'm okay. But he wasn't. Linda could feel it in the way he shook. The way his breath hitched. He'd killed people tonight. At 16. Because of her world. Their world. Ji-hoon appeared, his face granite. He surveyed the carnage, 6 bodies being loaded into ambulances, blood staining expensive floors, shell casings everywhere. His eyes found the one surviving attacker, restrained, bleeding, terrified. Talk, Ji-hoon said quietly. The man did. Because everyone talked when Park Ji-hoon asked. The story spilled out. Money from Nigeria. Instructions to grab Park Téjun, return him to someone who claimed to be his father. Linda's blood turned to ice. David, she whispered. Ji-hoon's face went empty. The look he got before mass violence. He came back. But you said, you promised. I was wrong. Ji-hoon's jaw clenched so hard Linda heard his teeth grind. He came back. And this time, his eyes met hers. This time I'm finishing it. No deportation. No mercy. I'm ending him. Ji-hoon. I should have done it 15 years ago. His voice was ice. I won't make that mistake again. Before Linda could respond, Téjun spoke. His voice was quiet but absolute. I'm coming with you. Both parents turned. No, Linda started. Yes. Téjun stood, letting the blanket fall. His eyes were his father's, cold, determined, dangerous. I killed 3 men tonight, Yama. For him. Because he keeps coming for me. For us. Baby, you're 16. I'm not a baby. The shout echoed through the destroyed mansion. I killed tonight. I saved my friends. I did what Appa trained me to do. His hands shook. And now I'm going to finish it. With you. As a family. Linda opened her mouth. Closed it. Looked at Ji-hoon. He was watching their son with something like awe. Together, Ji-hoon said finally. All 3 of us. We end this as a family. Linda wanted to protest. Wanted to lock Téjun in his room and never let him see violence again. But she'd lost that choice the moment David took him as a baby. She'd lost it the moment she married Park Ji-hoon. This was their world. And Téjun was part of it now. Whether she liked it or not. Okay, she whispered. Together. Taejun's hand found hers. Squeezed. Thank you, Yama. She squeezed back, her heart breaking and swelling all at once. Her baby had become a warrior. And she'd never been more terrified. Or more proud. If you're still watching, hit that subscribe button right now, because part 3 is going to wreck you. Trust me, lovies. This family story isn't over yet. Back at the penthouse, Ji-hoon's men worked with ruthless efficiency. Intel poured in from every source, informants, hackers, people who owed favors. Within hours, they had the full picture. David Okonkwo hadn't just escaped. He'd thrived. Blood diamonds in Sierra Leone. Human trafficking in West Africa. Arms deals in Libya. He'd built an empire on suffering, gotten obscenely rich, and used that wealth to bribe his way back into Korea. Not through airports. Through cargo ships. Hidden in containers. Illegal and untraceable. He'd been in Seoul for months. Watching. Planning. And now Ji-hoon had photos to prove it. Linda stared at the surveillance images spread across their dining table. David outside Taejun's school. Outside her shelter. Outside their home. He's been watching us, she whispered. 4 months. How did we not? He got better. Ji-hoon's voice was grim. Smarter. Learned from his mistakes. What does he want? Téjun. Ji-hoon pointed to a document, medical records, DNA samples. He's convinced himself Téjun is his biological son. Has been building a case. Claiming you lied about the timeline. Linda's laugh was hollow. I didn't. Téjun is yours. Only yours. I know. But David doesn't care about truth. He cares about winning. Ji-hoon's fist slammed the table. And I'm going to make sure he loses. Permanently. Téjun emerged from his room, showered and changed. The blood was gone but the 1,000-yard stare remained. Did he talk? He asked. The guy from the party? He did. Ji-hoon gestured to the photos. David's been in Seoul for months. Planning this. Téjun studied the images, his face unreadable. Then he looked at his father. So what's the plan? We lure him out. Set a trap. End him. How? Ji-hoon's smile was terrifying. We give him what he wants. A meeting. At the same warehouse where your mother shot him 15 years ago. Linda's breath caught. You want to use the same place? Symbolic. He'll love it. His ego won't let him resist. Ji-hoon turned to Téjun, and this time, we're all going. Together. No splitting up. No mercy. Téjun nodded slowly. When? Tomorrow night. I'll leak our location. Make it look accidental. He'll take the bait. And then? Then we finish what we should have finished 15 years ago. Linda's hand shook. She gripped the table to steady them. What if there are too many of them? What if? Then we die together. Ji-hoon said it so simply. Like it was just a fact. Ji-hoon. I won't live in fear anymore, Linda. I won't let him terrorize our family for another 15 years. His eyes met hers, resolute, unbreakable. Tomorrow, this ends. One way or another. Linda looked at her husband. Her son. Both of them staring at her with the same determined expression. She'd lost the argument before it started. Okay, she whispered. Tomorrow. We end it. Taejun's hand found hers across the table. Together, Iyama. We're stronger together. She squeezed his hand, tears burning her eyes. Together. The warehouse at Incheon port looked exactly the same. Rusted metal. Broken windows. The smell of salt water and decay. Linda stepped out of the SUV, her bulletproof vest tied around her ribs. Beside her, Ji-hoon checked his weapons with practiced efficiency. Téjun did the same, moving like his father's shadow. Around them, 100 of Ji-hoon's men moved into position. Snipers on rooftops. Exits blocked. Trap set. This time, David wouldn't escape. Remember, Ji-hoon said quietly. We go in together. We stay together. Nobody plays hero. Says the man who plays hero constantly, Linda muttered. His smile was brief. Do as I say, not as I do. Téjun checked his gun, his father had given him a better one after the party. What if he doesn't come? He'll come. Ji-hoon's voice was certain. His ego won't let him stay away. As if summoned, headlights appeared in the distance. Multiple vehicles. 20 men at least. David had brought an army. Good. So had they. The vehicles stopped. Doors opened. And there he was. David Okonkwo stepped into the warehouse's floodlights looking like he'd aged 100 years. Thinner. Harder. His eyes burned with the madness of obsession. Ji-hoon. His voice echoed off metal walls. Linda. I know you're here. Bring me my son. Ji-hoon, Linda, and Téjun stepped into the light together. David's eyes locked onto Téjun and went wide. My God, he breathed. Look at you. You're beautiful. You're mine. I'm theirs, Téjun said coldly. I'll always be theirs. No. David shook his head like a dog shaking off water. No. You're mine. I can prove it. DNA. Blood samples. The timeline matches. It doesn't matter. Linda's voice rang out, clear and strong. Even if you could prove biology, which you can't, he would still never be yours. He's my son. He's my son. Linda stepped forward, and Ji-hoon moved with her, a united front. I carried him. I birthed him. I raised him. You're nothing to him. You're just the monster in his nightmares. David's face twisted. I'll take him. I'll take him to Nigeria. Raise him the way he should have been raised. Away from this criminal. I'd rather die, Téjun interrupted. His voice was ice. Pure Ji-hoon. Then spend 1 second under your roof. David's hand went to his gun. So did everyone else's. 20 guns on David's side. 100 on Ji-hoon's. Mexican standoff in a warehouse that smelled like rust and revenge. You can't win this, Ji-hoon said quietly. You're outnumbered. Outgunned. This is your last chance. Leave. Now. Live in exile. Or die here tonight. I'm not leaving without my son. Then you're dying here. David's smile was grotesque. Maybe. But I'm taking you with me. His gun swung toward Ji-hoon. Linda moved without thinking. She stepped in front of Ji-hoon, her own gun raised. No, she said. You want him? You go through me. David's hand shook. Linda, don't, I don't want to hurt you. Yes, you do. Her voice was steady now. Clear. You've always wanted to hurt me. Because I left. Because I chose myself. Because I refused to be your victim. I loved you. You don't know what love is. Linda took another step forward. Téjun and Ji-hoon flanked her, all three with guns raised. Love doesn't bruise. Doesn't break. Doesn't take. Love protects, Téjun added. His voice was steady. Adult. Love builds. That's what they taught me. That's what family is. And you? Linda's eyes burned into David's. You were never strong enough to love. Only strong enough to take. That's why you lost. That's why you'll always lose. David's hand trembled violently. His finger tightened on the trigger. Then I'll take you all with me, he screamed. 3 shots rang out. Simultaneous. Perfect. Linda. Ji-hoon. Téjun. All 3 bullets found their target. David's body jerked. He looked down at the 3 holes in his chest, confused, disbelieving. No, he whispered. This isn't. I was supposed to. He fell. The warehouse erupted into chaos. David's men opened fire. Ji-hoon's men returned it. Bodies fell. Blood sprayed. But the Parks, Linda, Ji-hoon, Téjun, they stood together in the center of the storm, weapons raised, protecting each other. A family forged in fire. Unbreakable. The gunfight lasted 90 seconds. When the smoke cleared, David's men were dead or surrendering. And David lay on the concrete, his blood pooling around him like spilled wine. Linda dropped her gun. Her hand shook violently. I killed him, she whispered. We killed him, Téjun corrected gently. Together. The way it should be. Ji-hoon wrapped his arms around both of them. It's over. Finally over. Linda looked down at David's body. Expected to feel guilt. Remorse. Instead, she felt relief. Pure, clean, absolute relief. The monster was dead. Her family was safe. It was over. I'm not scared anymore, she whispered. She looked at Ji-hoon, then Téjun. I'm not scared. I'm just free. Téjun's arms came around her from one side. Ji-hoon's from the other. They stood like that for a long time, 3 bodies, 1 family, finally free. 6 months later, morning sunlight poured through the penthouse windows like a benediction. Linda stood at the podium, looking out at 200 faces, women who'd survived hell, who'd found safety in her shelters. I was powerless once, she said, her voice carrying across the room. I was beaten, broken, convinced I was worthless. But today? She smiled. Today I give power back. This shelter, our 4th shelter, is for you. For every woman who thinks she's too broken to heal. You're not. You're unbreakable. The room erupted in applause. Beside the stage, Téjun held the ribbon, grinning. At 16, he'd become the face of their family's charity work, proof that children of violence could become advocates for peace. Linda descended the stage, and Téjun handed her the scissors. Together, they cut the ribbon. Flashbulbs exploded. Reporters shouted questions. Linda ignored them all, turning to Ji-hoon, who watched from the back with tears in his eyes. He mouthed, I'm proud of you. She mouthed back, I love you. That night, they had dinner at home. Just the 3 of them. Téjun told a story from school, something about a chemistry experiment gone wrong, and Linda laughed until her sides hurt. In the middle of his story, her hand drifted to her stomach. Ji-hoon noticed immediately. His eyes dropped. Then flew back to her face. Linda? She bit her lip. Nodded. Are you? Twins. Her voice broke with emotion. Girls this time. Taejun's fork clattered to his plate. What? I'm getting sisters? You're getting sisters, Linda confirmed, tears streaming down her face. Téjun jumped up, whooping. This is amazing. I can protect them. Teach them to fight. Make sure no one ever. Easy, warrior, Ji-hoon laughed, pulling him into a headlock. Let them be born first. Linda watched her boys wrestle, her hand still on her stomach. Twin girls. Growing inside her. Safe. Protected. Wanted. For the first time in her life, pregnancy didn't terrify her. Because she knew who she was now. She wasn't a victim. Wasn't broken. Wasn't powerless. She was Linda Park. Survivor. Advocate. Mother. Warrior. And nothing, could break her now. Later, after Téjun had gone to bed, Linda and Ji-hoon stood on their balcony. Seoul glittered beneath them like a promise kept. Ji-hoon's arms wrapped around her from behind, his hand settling on her stomach. Twin girls, he murmured against her hair. I'm going to be even more paranoid, aren't I? Probably. Linda leaned back into him. But we'll manage. We always do. Together. Together. They stood like that for a long time, watching the city breathe beneath them. The monsters were dead. The nightmares were over. And love, fierce, unbreakable, earned love, had won. 3 bodies silhouetted against Seoul's skyline. A family forged in fire. Holding each other as the sun set on their past and rose on their future. Unbreakable. So lovies, when is revenge justified? When a monster keeps coming back, when mercy breeds suffering, does love demand violence? Linda believed she was broken. But she learned, strength is choosing to rebuild. To fight. To protect, no matter the cost. Was she right to pull that trigger? I won't answer. That's for you to decide. Drop your thoughts below. If this moved you, like and subscribe for more stories that make you feel.